So imagine you're arrested, a bunch of guys, they're using baton and sticks because you're eating during Ramadan and you're not a Muslim. Muslim or not, if you are seen eating in public this Ramadan, wahala good day. If you're surprised, well, you're not alone. The Hisbah has announced its ban and raid on Nigerians engaging in practices that do not align with the Islamic holy month. The Director General in a chat with the media house said it's unlawful for Christians and non-Muslims to eat openly or publicly engage in activities that the Muslims are restricted from. This announcement made by the Hisbah, honestly, is just really absurd. I mean, I understand you making that announcement directed specifically to Muslims, but banning non-Muslims from eating or engaging in activities during Ramadan, how does that work? Like, it's a religion that is doing something, and the people who are not in that religion should have the right to do what it is that they want. Last time I checked, we live in a society that's diverse. We're supposed to be coexisting with other religions peacefully. Let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking? How do you feel about this announcement that has been made by the Hisbah? Now, the Hisbah is moving around and they're actually conducting patrols to catch anybody eating. Anybody that is not following up with the Islamic rules during Ramadan. We all know Ramadan is considered the Islamic holy month. And during this month, Muslims, specifically only Muslims, are expected to abstain from eating, sex, drinking, smoking, all during the fasting hours. Specifically, Muslims, instead of focusing on issues that they're like serious issues in Nigeria, right? There's poverty, there's crime, there's kidnapping, there's a lot of things. But the Hisbah seems to be focused on policing people who are not in this religion. How does that make sense? The Hisbah's actions are really alarming for me because you're now crossing boundaries and you're beginning to police people who you actually do not have jurisdiction or authority to police. In 2021, they conducted a raid in Nasarawa and Kano, and they ended up arresting 8 women and 3 men for eating during Ramadan. The arrested individuals denied committing what they were accused of, while others said that they had their reasons. So maybe those people were Muslims, maybe they were not. But even the idea of the Hisbah makes me a little nervous. Like, when I think about it, how do you act as religious vigilantes and police people's personal lives? Because I say Nigeria is technically a secular country. It is not a theocracy. So once you begin to have a religious group that can arrest people based on the fact that they are being defiant to the laws of a religion, you're giving theocracy energy. We're no longer a secular society. And trying to impose one's group's religious practices on everyone else, it feels unfair. But in addition to it being unfair, it's actually unconstitutional. So what exactly is the Hisbah? And why are they roaming around with the authority to say that they are going to be able to arrest people for eating during Ramadan? Well, the Hisbah, formerly known as the Kano State Hisbah Corps, is actually a religious police force, and they are responsible for enforcing Sharia law on Muslims in Muslim majority areas like Kano and other parts of northern Nigeria. Now, Hisbah literally means in Arabic accountability, but just because the word means accountability, again, why are they able to pass judgment and jury over other people's lives? They do operate under this idea and ideology that they're maintaining religious order, but in actuality, could we say that they are overstepping their boundaries and trampling on people's rights? But get this, they actually don't even have the authority to make arrests. Like, they don't have the authority. All they have is a baton for self-defense. So imagine you're arrested, a bunch of guys, they're using baton and sticks because you're eating during Ramadan and you're not a Muslim. How? So some people on social media had a lot to say about this. Mo says, and I quote, "Muslims in Nigeria are being extreme with their practices and it's becoming something else. First, it was Kano police arresting Muslims for eating during fasting, and now a chief imam asked people to respect Muslims and not eat in public. I want to ask a question. Is religion a do or die affair?" End quote. For one, we cannot, and I do not fully agree with that statement, because we cannot generalize that all Muslims feel this way. If one person says something, that is how that one person says this, and that's what they believe, and it happens to be that that person is Muslim. So let's not generalize all Muslims feel this way. It doesn't work like that. Yes, we do know that there are a lot of people who have extreme religious beliefs, but it varies. The average person who's Muslim, they don't think this way. They just don't. Another person online said, "First thing I did when I started my business in Nigeria was to ban company compelled prayers. The manager would make employees pray and try to get them to fast sometimes. I put a stop to it. You cannot force people to practice your religion." End quote. Another person, Ekudayo, said this, and start quote, "There's absolutely nothing here to think. When in Rome, act like Romans. Okay? Know a lot of people would criticize this with excuses of saner climes, blah, blah, blah. If you know saner climes, they'd understand regulations such as this made saner climes remain sane, end quote. That doesn't make any sense. Egunayo seems to be overlooking a crucial fact when he's talking about when in Rome, act like Rome, basically saying, oh, if you're specifically in an area where they have these laws, act like that, obey their laws. The fact is that those laws don't exist. According to the 1999 Constitution, every Nigerian citizen under Section 38 possesses the fundamental right of freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Simple. That is the law. So as Nigerians, our identity is not defined by a single religion or a belief system. It's just not. And we need to get that fact right. It's a very dicey thing. Oh. We all know that religious tension has always been hot in this country. So let's be guided as we're doing this thing. Let's us be guided. Whether you want to go to church on Sunday, whether you want to visit mosque on Friday, it is not the concern of the Constitution. It is not. It's a classic example of do your own, make I do my own. The law recognizes religion as personal, and as such, it should be practiced solely on that basis. Personal. So please, if you find yourself a foodie, this is not the time, because the Hisbah has said that they're coming for you. What are your thoughts and opinion on this? How do you guys feel about this? I have some good news. Well, I'm calling it good news. No ransom for terrorists. You heard it right. More of this on The Scoop. Click on the next video.